Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2013. So it's the 25th anniversary of Madden, and they're celebrating in a big way. A next generation engine called Ignite. Let's see how things are shaping up for Madden 25.
As I live and breathe, Cam Weber.
How you doing?
I'm all. I thought they were sending Cam Newton, and I'm sure you get that all the time in all these sports shows. I'm sorry about that one. You're here to talk about Madden, next gen Madden. This is a huge deal. Madden's making the leap with the PlayStation 4, with Xbox One. EA's conference talked a lot about this Ignite, this whole engine thing. Tell me, what does that mean, and what does it mean to Madden more specifically?
So EA Sports Ignite it's a collection of technologies into one common engine that we're basically using to build all of our Gen 4 titles across EA Sports.
Okay.
It's really a combination of an effort from engineers at EA Canada, from EA Tiburon, and really it's like a bunch of best-in-class technologies put together, where it's the rendering engine, AI, player movement, audio. It's just a combination of best-in-class tech that we can share and spread across all of our EA Sports titles.
And as we watch the demonstration here, you guys running plays, obviously graphically it looks better. I got a real-time demo over there. You can zoom in on the blades of grass, which is ridiculous. And I mean, some poor guy was working on all that. What I found really interesting, right, is that you're layering Ignite on what was already working last year, right? Last year you guys made a big step with the Infinity engine, put physics into it and made it more real than ever. And now as we watch this, you see people tripping, stumbling, cutting, all these different things. What's happening with Infinity engine this year?
So, we actually have multiple layers. I mean, the thing that really makes Madden feel special on Gen 4, first, it's our brand new True Step locomotion system. Something that actually a group of engineers on FIFA and a group of engineers on Madden worked together on as one group this year. It's a brand new step-based locomotion system, which means actually every individual step up. You also have much more fidelity and control over every move, and at any time and at every step. So you got this kind of foundational layer of the True Step locomotion. You then layer in something called Player Sense. So this is where we make 50 times more contextual calculations per second.
That's a lot.
This is using that kind of 8 times the CPU power of this on Gen 4.
Sure.
Really, it allows us to give players the ability. It's like taking the blindfold off. They can see the entire field, all the players and objects and obstacles around them, and then they can react on the fly. So you'll see a character who kind of uses like a stiff arm to put a guy down in front of him, but then he'll know to just like hop over him on the fly. And so it's like instinctual and as they go.
That's the big thing, right? Hit him and fall down. An automatic hurdle over a down player. There's all these little tweaks that really enhance it, what was already great, right?
Yeah, and it actually gets applied to a lot of defensive players as well. Whenever guys are passing each other in the defensive secondary, or if it's a linebacker going past a defensive lineman to through a gap in the line, they're just doing those subtle movements to kind of navigate with athleticism and like with their instincts to kind of navigate through that environment.
You're talking about movements in particular, but I know during the conference and then in the demos I've gotten, I've had to basically open Football Playbook 101 and try to figure out what sometimes you guys are saying. Because you're talking about the defense reading the offense and switching off, and then defenders or your own linemen, reading who's coming and reading who's blitzing, breaking. Explain to me, without making my head explode, how you're putting so much football into these AI guys.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, it goes back to, we have 10x the memory, we have 8 times the processing power. That allows us to run, so many more kind of calculations.
Right.
Our AI cycles, our animation cycles, our physics cycles are going, so much faster and calculating more times per second. So, we have more players thinking more, making more intelligent decisions. We rebuilt our O-line, D-line play from the ground up this year, something I'm so excited about because it's really the core of what football's about. So the line of scrimmage has so much going on this year. Whether it's run blocking or pass blocking, it's completely overhauled. In terms of the stuff that you're asking about, our offensive linemen now, they work as a unit. They kind of have something called pocket awareness. So each one of the linemen kind of knows their role. They start with what we call pre-snap targeting. So we know what assignment they have for a play, given what defensive front is there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it ended back in the Gen 4 days, or Gen 3 days. So now what happens is they identify the mic, which is what happens in real football. It basically means the center, the QB is, you see Tom Brady in the middle of the game at the line. And basically from the center outwards, they then count away, and that's how they decide what their pre-snap target is in a blocking scheme. So they're dynamically changing based on the fronts changing who the mic is. Then after the snap is taken,
It's starting to explode.
the players are they're dynamically sorting and shifting assignments on the fly based on a late safety that's coming in on a blitz. It's really complex stuff, but it's really exciting, and it's real football.
Well, let's talk about some of the additions you have that I've been fortunate enough to see. Right now, if you do get...
Yeah, sure. So, I talked about the true step locomotion system, then the player sense on kind of adding on top.
Right.
And then we have our Infinity Engine physics, the runtime physics that layers in on top, which has been, it's calculating it twice the rate, so it's more accurate. And then the fourth key component is that we call it the precision modifier. And basically, left trigger, it slows you down a little bit, squares up your shoulders, you get into more short, choppy steps, but then from there, you unlock over 38 different running moves and combos that you can use at the right analog stick while you're holding it. So basically, it's like an ability to use a super juke or a combo juke spin. And
it's like Street Fighter. You're making Madden Street Fighter.
Not quite Street Fighter. This is realistic stuff that NFL backs do in real life.
Sure, yeah.
And I'd say it's more fidelity and control on the field over these super athletes that you're controlling with precise movement.
When you start adding in combos like this and super jukes and all this stuff, is there ever a moment of like, well, do we want to do this and risk alienating?
Moves is you basically can just hold down that left trigger and just move that right stick around, and you'll get to do make amazing things happen no matter what level of player you are.
Okay, that's good. I worry about it. I was always a big, let's drop back 20 yards, throw across my body to a receiver I can't see. Those days are gone, and my friends make me pay for them, but also. Now, we're talking about Gen 4. We're talking about Xbox One, PS4. A lot of people, when we started doing our pre-show and post-show for the EA conference, brought up the fact that when Madden made that initial jump from Xbox to Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 version looked better, but actually had less features, a few, one less commentator, stuff like one fewer commentator. Is that going to happen here?
Yeah. So, first things, that's one of the first things I keep kind of clarifying is it'll be a fully featured Madden right out of the gate on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We're not losing any depth. Last year in Madden 13, we did a rewrite of all of our game modes with connected careers.
Right.
We're now it's connected franchise with owner mode this year. That system was built with this generational transition coming in mind. So connecting all of our game modes into one connected universe and really building them to be connected for the future. And you're getting all of that with added depth and fidelity as you go into Gen 4. So you're going to get a full-featured Madden with Gen 4 gameplay and all of the depth that you had in the Gen 3 versions of the game.
Sounds pretty good, Kim. Kim, when does Madden come out?
Madden's coming out in late August on Gen 3, and it'll be at launch of Gen 4 consoles.
I'm going to get one of these people to give it up and tell me when the next generation begins. That's what I want. It wasn't you, but you keep watching.
It's going to happen sometime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay. We have a whole bunch of awesome stuff coming. Hey, Naomi, tell me about it.
I will, Greg. Now next on the show.